You think you know the people around you. You believe you can identify when someone is toxic,
when an energy is heavy, when a behavior crosses the line of what is acceptable. But what if I told you the real dangers aren't obvious at all, that the most harmful people in your life might just be the ones smiling warmly, offering a helping hand, or sitting right across from you at dinner? These are the hidden dangers Carl Jung warned us about, and if you don't recognize them soon enough, they can quietly drain your happiness, derail your dreams, and chip away at your self-worth without you even realizing it. Today I'm going to reveal these dangerous personalities, show you exactly how to spot them, and more importantly, teach you how to protect yourself, because your emotional freedom depends on it. Ever dealt with someone who always leaves you feeling guilty? They're upset, and suddenly it feels like your fault. They're angry, you must have done something wrong. Carl Jung described this as unconscious manipulation, a subtle psychological game played without even realizing it. These people aren't always villains. They're often unaware of their own internal battles, but their hidden wounds become yours, making you a mirror for pain they refuse to confront. It's exhausting, right? When you constantly carry someone else's emotional baggage, you risk losing sight of your own emotional health. It's subtle yet draining, quiet yet destructive. The solution lies in self-awareness and setting clear, emotional boundaries. Next time you sense this manipulation creeping in, pause, reflect deeply. Is there pain genuinely about something you did, or are you simply the target of unresolved issues? Protect yourself by politely, yet firmly, distancing yourself from emotional traps. Your energy matters. Guard it fiercely. Schopenhauer reminds us, it's difficult to find happiness within oneself, but impossible to find it anywhere else. So prioritize your emotional well-being over someone else's hidden struggles. Recognize manipulation, step back compassionately, and preserve your inner peace. Remember, safeguarding your boundaries isn't selfish, it's self-respect. We've all met someone who seems a bit too perfect, always pleasant, always agreeable, yet strangely distant. It's unsettling, isn't it? Carl Jung called this carefully curated social mask the persona. Originally designed to help us adapt socially, this mask becomes dangerous when it seals off genuine emotions, suffocating authenticity behind a flawless facade. Being around a persona player subtly forces you into their scripted world. You start editing your own feelings, afraid of disrupting their delicate illusion. Soon, you're tiptoeing through interactions, anxious about slipping up. Nietzsche nailed it when he said, "No price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." Yet, around persona players, we often give away pieces of our real selves cheaply. It's like talking to a mannequin with a painted smile, perfect, but cold. And you start mimicking it just to feel safe. The key to escaping this suffocating dynamic is authenticity. Authenticity isn't harsh or confrontational, it's quietly courageous. It means gently voicing your true feelings, even if it risks discomfort. Schopenhauer reminds us, truth passes through 3 stages: ridiculed, violently opposed, then accepted as self-evident. So when you dare express genuine emotion, watch their reaction carefully. Do they recoil, retreat, or reject your honesty? That's your cue. It's time to step back and reclaim your space. Remember, authenticity isn't just your shield, it's your liberation. Choose openness over illusion, honesty over artificial peace. In doing so, you'll not only protect yourself, you'll inspire others to drop their masks and reclaim their truth too. We've all experienced those startling moments. Someone calm, collected, suddenly erupts over the tiniest issue. A misplaced comment, a forgotten task, and out of nowhere, anger explodes, shattering any sense of safety. Carl Jung referred to this hidden emotional chaos as the shadow, the dark vault where we bury all the feelings, impulses, and truths we deem unacceptable. Eventually, though, anything repressed demands release, and when it emerges, it can feel volcanic. Being near a shadow keeper feels tense, uncertain. It's like tiptoeing through an emotional minefield, each step fraught with uncertainty. When we walk carefully to avoid triggering others, we often lose our own authenticity and emotional balance, adopting a guarded stance out of survival rather than openness. Living with them feels like sleeping next to a ticking clock you can't silence. You never know when the alarm will go off. But here's the critical insight. These eruptions aren't about you. They reflect the shadow keeper's unresolved inner battles. Recognizing this can empower you to stay calm. Schopenhauer wisely said, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom." To avoid absorbing their tension, cultivate inner emotional space, a kind of mental solitude even amidst their storms. The healthiest response isn't confrontation, but calm assertiveness. Refuse to escalate conflicts, gently suggesting the other person reflect inward. If their volatility continues, remember your greatest power lies in stepping away, choosing emotional safety over draining confrontation. By distancing yourself compassionately, you not only safeguard your own emotional health, you gently encourage shadow keepers to face what they're desperately trying to ignore. Because in the end, true strength isn't controlling someone else's emotions, it's maintaining your peace despite theirs. We all know someone who judges every decision, carefully cloaking criticism as well-meaning advice. It's for your own good, they insist, wielding morality like a weapon. But beneath this virtuous facade lies a hidden battle. Carl Jung saw clearly into the heart of these moral controllers, revealing how they unconsciously project their suppressed desires onto others. Their strict rules, rigid dogmas, these are desperate attempts to keep their shadows buried. Being around moral controllers can subtly erode your sense of self. Their relentless judgments, even when gently phrased, chip away at your confidence. Over time, their scrutiny makes you question your natural instincts and honest desires, leaving you feeling guilty for simply being human. Nietzsche wisely warned, morality is the herd instinct in the individual. And too often we allow these self-appointed guardians to herd us into their restrictive molds, stifling our authentic voices in the process. Yet here's the empowering truth: you're under no obligation to conform to someone else's moral framework. Your values are your compass, uniquely guiding your life's direction. Schopenhauer reminded us, mostly it is loss which teaches us about the worth of things. Losing your genuine self-expression is too great a price to pay for acceptance rooted in someone else's judgments. So when confronted by this subtle form of control, stand firm in your authenticity. Politely but decisively refuse unsolicited advice. Anchor yourself in clarity about who you truly are and what genuinely matters to you. By doing this, you reclaim your power, free yourself from externally imposed guilt, and embrace the liberating courage of authenticity. Because in the end, true morality isn't about conforming, it's about living honestly, freely, and courageously according to your own inner truth. We've all encountered those relationships that swing wildly between love and hostility without warning. One moment you're cherished, the next you're inexplicably the villain. This emotional whiplash leaves you disoriented, exhausted, and anxious. Carl Jung labeled these individuals as driven by complexes, hidden, unresolved emotional wounds steering their behavior unpredictably from behind the scenes. These hidden conflicts aren't about logic or fairness, they're raw, emotional triggers that hijack rational responses. Being around someone complex feels like navigating an emotional minefield. You never know when or why an explosion might occur. Their unpredictable moods keep you on constant alert, stealing your peace of mind and draining your emotional reserves. Trying too hard to adapt to their chaotic swings risks losing your own stability, dragging you into a cycle of reactive turmoil. The key to protecting yourself lies in clear, compassionate boundaries. Acknowledge their emotional storms without getting swept away by them. Keep your reactions measured and stable. As Schopenhauer wisely pointed out, it is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but impossible to find it anywhere else. Your emotional health depends on maintaining inner steadiness despite external chaos. If volatility persists despite your best efforts, gently step back and prioritize your emotional well-being. Choosing emotional safety over unpredictable interactions isn't selfish, it's necessary self-care. By doing so, you honor your own emotional integrity and send a subtle yet powerful message. You deserve respect, consistency, and stability. Remember, true strength comes from clarity, self-awareness, and knowing precisely when it's time to walk away. You know the feeling. You spend time with someone, and afterward you're completely drained, exhausted as if you've run a marathon. Your energy fades, your emotional reserves collapse, leaving you hollow. Carl Jung didn't use the phrase psychic vampire, but he clearly described relationships where one person constantly draws emotional nourishment from another, trying desperately to fill their internal emptiness. Jung warned of these symbiotic connections, cautioning that they blur the boundaries between two individuals, slowly eroding your sense of self. These interactions feel deceptively normal at first, even comforting. Gradually, though, your role shifts into that of an emotional caregiver, always responsible for refilling their empty emotional tanks. Their happiness becomes your duty, their moods your burden. Nietzsche once cautioned, "Battle not with monsters, lest ye become a monster," reminding us how quickly we can lose ourselves while trying to save others. It's like charging their phone with your battery and realizing you're always the one left with 1%. Breaking free demands conscious courage, the courage to say no. Schopenhauer emphasized, "A man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills." Your energy is precious. You must deliberately choose where and how you invest it. Begin noticing when relationships become imbalanced, when giving vastly outweighs receiving. Gently but firmly limit your emotional availability. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's an essential act of self-respect. Instead, focus your energy on reciprocal connections, relationships that energize and uplift you. Prioritize people who leave you feeling stronger, clearer, and genuinely supported. Because ultimately, your emotional health isn't just about avoiding toxic relationships. It's about nurturing meaningful ones that build you up rather than drain you. Remember, reclaiming your energy is the first step to reclaiming your life. Protecting your energy isn't about labeling someone as good or bad. It's about safeguarding your emotional health, clarity, and well-being. Carl Jung wisely stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Understanding these subtle yet dangerous personality types empowers you, illuminating hidden dynamics that quietly steal your peace and confidence. When you learn to recognize the silent manipulator, the shadow keeper, or the emotional vampire, you regain the power you've unknowingly surrendered. Nietzsche reminds us, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Your why is your own emotional freedom and authenticity, worth fiercely protecting against subtle manipulation and draining interactions. Protecting your energy means being conscious of who receives your time, attention, and emotional investment. It means refusing to let others dictate your emotional reality or diminish your self-worth. Schopenhauer insightfully observed, "It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but impossible to find it anywhere else. Happiness comes from within, and protecting your emotional boundaries is essential to nurturing it." Ultimately, stepping away from unhealthy dynamics isn't selfish, it's essential self-care. It grants you space to heal, clarity to grow, and strength to cultivate genuine connections that nourish rather than drain you. Here's an uncomfortable truth. While listening, you might have recognized some of these toxic patterns in yourself. It's easy to see problems in others, far harder to spot them in your own reflection. Carl Jung powerfully stated, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." Instead of shying away from this realization, embrace it as your gateway to genuine growth and emotional freedom. We all carry shadows, those hidden parts of ourselves we don't want to admit exist. Often, without realizing it, we become the very people we vow never to be, trapped by behaviors we once rejected. But awareness is your key out of this invisible prison. Taking responsibility isn't about shame or guilt, it's about courage and self-compassion. Schopenhauer taught, "Mostly it is loss which teaches us about the worth of things." By acknowledging what you're risking, your relationships, your inner peace, your authentic self, you start to reclaim control. Reflect deeply, honestly, and without judgment. Accepting your flaws doesn't weaken you, it empowers you. It frees you to change. Every step inward moves you closer to the emotional clarity and genuine connection you truly desire. Your journey toward emotional freedom begins with brave self-awareness, owning your shadows, transforming them into strength. Because in the end, your willingness to confront and heal your hidden wounds will define who you become and how deeply you live. Imagine waking up each morning feeling calm, energized, and ready, not dreading another exhausting emotional battle. Picture your interactions flowing naturally, conversations feeling open and genuine, without the constant fear of walking on eggshells. Carl Jung captured this beautifully, saying, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." You have the power to build a life free from the weight of toxic relationships, a life defined by authentic connections and mutual respect. Visualize yourself spending time with people who uplift rather than drain you. Relationships where honesty feels safe and boundaries respected. Nietzsche once wrote, "One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star." Acknowledge your past chaos, your difficult lessons, and let them transform into the strength that guides you toward healthier bonds. It's possible, entirely achievable, to surround yourself with relationships that recharge you, inspire you, and support your growth. Schopenhauer reminds us, every man takes the limits of his own field of vision for the limits of the world. Don't limit yourself by believing toxic patterns are inevitable or normal. When you become aware of these subtle dangers, you gain clarity. Clarity to choose better, set boundaries, and walk away when needed. Your emotional well-being isn't just important, it's everything. Create a future that prioritizes balance and emotional health, because ultimately, the relationships you cultivate shape your life. Choose consciously, bravely, and purposefully. Your new reality awaits. Now it's your turn, because this conversation is only powerful if it sparks action. Take a moment to reflect deeply and then share honestly in the comments. Have you encountered any of these hidden toxic dynamics in your own life? Or perhaps you recognize some of these patterns within yourself. Carl Jung reminds us, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Your openness could inspire someone else's first courageous step toward emotional clarity and freedom. We're all here on this journey together, breaking free from shadows we didn't even know we carried. Remember, awareness isn't just understanding others, it's reclaiming yourself. So click the suggested video on your screen right now to continue this empowering journey. Thank you for being part of Mosaic Mind.